Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited. Y'all have no idea till the end to make this video. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about where I've been, and also the future for my channel. So stay tuned, definitely stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, to this video. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Feel free to take a look at all the other videos that I have, and hopefully you can be blessed by them. And if you know anyone that can relate to this video, if you can relate to this video, if you can relate to the content that I've posted, of course, go ahead and give it a like, a thumbs up, and also subscribe. So thank you again for tuning in. So where have I been? Well, as you can see by the title of the video, I've been blessed with a beautiful baby girl. She is so perfect. She is amazing. I love her so much. So the Lord has blessed me. However, the journey for me to get to meet my baby girl, which is the pregnancy, was really tough. It was a hard journey. I posted recently a reel on my Instagram where I posted kind of like a preview of kind of like everything I have been through, just the process, and I'm gonna get more deep into it now. So we found out we were pregnant around February. We actually were not planning to have a baby yet, but my husband did want to have a baby, and I also kind of felt it in my spirit, like the time was getting closer and closer. You know, everybody tells you, wait a year after you get married, enjoy your time together. That's what I wanted, and I also wanted to finish school. But one day I talked to my mom, and she was like, listen, like, you're not getting any younger. Like, school's always gonna be there. So we're here to help you. We're here for you. So if you ever want to go back to school once you have your baby, like, we got you. So think about that. And I'm like, that's true. I'm almost 30, 29. So I listened to my mom, and like I said, I also was feeling in my spirit like the time was coming. I was the one that was trying to like go against the current. I didn't want to have a baby yet, but I just enjoyed my freedom. I enjoyed being able to go and come as I please. But I have learned that yes, a baby is a huge responsibility. A baby needs you to be there, but it doesn't stop what you want to do. It doesn't stop your goals. It doesn't stop you getting to where you want to be in life. It doesn't stop you from having fun either. You just have to be responsible, understand that your child comes first always. And there's other ways to have fun rather than being out in the street, in the clubs and places that they can't be at. So, I mean, I get it. It's a tough transition. I had to mourn who I was to understand, like, this is the best thing ever. This is what I needed. She is what I needed in order to get to where I'm going. We found out we were pregnant. We were happy. Everyone was happy. Family was happy. And my symptoms shortly started, like, literally like at 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I already had symptoms. I started to get very nauseous. I started to get very sick, throwing up, vomiting. It started like gradually getting there, but it happened really quickly. I even fainted one time because I was so weak. It was horrible. I had never fainted in my life, so that was a weird feeling. But that happened. It was just such a hard experience. It got to me getting so dehydrated, so weak, not being able to eat anything, that I ended up in the hospital. There, they let me know that I had something called HG, which is Hyperemesis Gravidarum. It's basically a condition that happens in pregnancy to most women, not most women, but some women, which is why a lot of people haven't heard of it, don't know what it is. Maybe they think they're just sick from pregnancy, but it does have a name, and it's called HG. And it's severe morning sickness that doesn't just happen in the morning. It doesn't just happen at night. It happens all day. So that's what happened to me. It was happening all day. I wasn't able to eat anything. I wasn't able to go anywhere. I wasn't able to work anymore. I had to stay home. And of course, you deal with having to go to the hospital all the time. Eventually, I could no longer work. My job kept my position, but eventually I had to leave my job because I started to get better, but once I started to get better, I was still weak and I wanted to work from home. They had the opportunity, but they didn't give it to me. So I decided to just find something that was what I needed at the time, and I did find a job that was strictly working from home. I just had to be in the office during training and once a month, so that worked perfectly for me. Like, God's timing was so perfect. Like, he opened that door right when I was ready to go back to work, which is when I was feeling better, which is like halfway through my second trimester. And it was just like perfect timing. I was able to go to my training, and once I came back home, I was like, okay, got through that part, and it was just good from there. But going back to the first and the beginning of the second trimester, when I would go to the hospital, they would prescribe me medication. So I want to talk a little bit about the medication. If you're going through this where you are having issues keeping anything down, you're dehydrated, go to the ER. Go to the ER. It's not good for you to be dehydrated when you're pregnant. So they have to give you fluids. Go to the ER. You don't have to deal with this by yourself. You don't have to deal with this alone. Go to the ER, and I promise you, you'll get that relief that you need. Once you got those fluids in your system, you'll get a relief. They also prescribe you medication, and I went through a list of medications before I found the one that worked for me. And they all worked a little bit, but not that much. Like, I was just going through it. I went through Diclegis, Zofran, vitamin B6. I tried keeping things in my stomach. I tried trying to stay hydrated with not just water, but like Gatorade, Powerade, all these things, popsicles. Nothing worked for me. Eventually, I continued to get dehydrated. My midwife, she suggested I get on this medicinal pump. It's called a Reglan pump. They have the Zofran pump is more common, but the Reglan pump is basically this device that you have to carry around everywhere. One end has the medicine, and the other end is a cord that you have to plug into your stomach so that the medicine can flow into your bloodstream, into your body, and you can begin to get relief. I got sent home from the hospital with that, and also IV fluids. I had to be on the IV fluids at home for like 4 days. I was fine while I was on the fluids, while I was on the medication. I was like, finally, Lord have mercy. At this point, I was like three months pregnant. And eventually the IV fluids stopped and the medication stopped working too. So I went back to square one, throwing up all day. It was just horrible. It was a horrible time, but it does get better. So if you're going through this right now, just know that it does get better. I remember I was surviving at times on like cucumbers. I would go weeks without eating a full, like I literally, that whole time I wasn't really eating like a full meal or anything. I found what I liked, what worked, and I stuck to that, which is what they tell you. Like, if bread is what works for you, eat bread all day. Like, if anything else makes you sick, but bread is the one thing that you like, stick to bread. I went through different seasons. I had a season of cereal, when cereal was my lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I went through a season where I only ate cucumbers, like cucumbers with salt and vinegar all day, every day. Like a season, you just gotta listen to your body and go with that. And if you can't keep anything down, just try to keep fluids. If you can't even keep the fluids down, go to the ER. So I went through months of that, trying to find the best medication. Finally, I found, when I saw that the pump wasn't working, I ended up taking it off and just trying to just kind of go with the flow of my body and just kind of letting the time run its course, because it's something that your body just needs to understand that there's a baby in there, plus the condition, which there is no specific cause for it. There's nothing that you can do differently from what I know. If there is something up there, please let us know. I remember there was one hospital visit. I was not keeping anything down. I had to go to the ER. And they gave me Promethazine and Benadryl. After that, I started to feel so much better. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I ran out of the Benadryl, so I just stuck to the Promethazine, and it was twice a day. I stuck beside it my whole pregnancy. So talk to your doctor, see what medications work for you. And I found what worked for me. I stuck beside it. And it wasn't still easy after that. I had to get my strength back and things like that. I had some days where I wasn't feeling well. But it was all a process, and eventually it did get better for me. I was able to get cute again, like feel like myself a little bit again. But then in my 3rd trimester, I did have some days where I wasn't feeling well, but it was nothing like the beginning. I did have some days where I feel nauseous, where I couldn't work. But that was literally like nothing like the beginning. When I had days where I couldn't keep anything down, especially in your 3rd trimester, you have to go to the ER. That was causing me to contract. Like I was having contractions when I went to the hospital because I got dehydrated. So drink your water, drink your Powerade, drink your Gatorade, stay hydrated. Because I guess I don't want to say I didn't do a good job staying hydrated, but I kept getting dehydrated. So I don't know. My pregnancy was really hard, guys. It was tough. If you know anybody that's going through a tough pregnancy, a tough time, send them this video. Let them know they're not the only one, and let them know that it is worth it to wait on that little bundle of joy. It is worth it to get through it. Once you have that baby in your hand, there's nothing that compares to that. So just hold on, sis. Hold on. You got this. You got this. It feels like it's never going to end, but literally 9 months go by like that. It didn't feel like that, but they do go by like that. And yes, so that's where I've been, guys. I didn't have the energy to do anything. Like in the midst of all that, we moved to the apartment that we wanted. God started opening doors. Things definitely did get better, but we saw God's hand in the midst of the process. Because let me tell you, my home went from a 2-income household to a 1-income household because I couldn't work. So we definitely felt the burden of that. And every step of the way, we saw God's hand. Like he did not leave us. So trust in the Lord in the midst of the process. He allows them for us to understand who our provider is. Not your boss, not my boss, him. Not the doors that people open for you, the doors that he opens for you. So with that being said, that's where I've been, guys. It's been tough. It's been rough. But I'm back. As far as the future of my channel, I believe that the Lord called me to YouTube. I remember when I started, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be just another person on YouTube, but I kept feeling in my stomach, in my spirit, like, girl, God has called you to do this. Like God has given you a gift of speaking in front of people, of not being shy when you speak, of being able to elaborate on whatever it is that you want to talk about. So do it, like do it. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about what people think. Because I feel like sometimes that's what stops us from doing what God has called us to do. What will people say? What will people think? And I had to let go of all that and say, you know what? It doesn't matter. The Lord is calling me to do this. So baby girl got hungry, and when she speaks, I move. So yes, I felt like God called me to do this. God called me to make this move, and I can't quit until he tells me to, until he says it's time, until he says I have fulfilled the purpose that he had for me on here. I remember when I started, it wasn't about the numbers, and it can't be about the numbers. Like if God called you to do YouTube, it can't be about the numbers. Don't worry about how many people are watching. Don't worry about how many subscribers. Of course, I mean, when you're doing something, you want to be successful at it, and of course, I want the numbers, but it can't be about the numbers, if you know what I mean. It has to be about that one person. But of course, the more subscribers, the more views, the more people are getting that message that you are bringing out. So that the Lord is trying to bring out through you. So just don't focus on the numbers. So that can't be your focus. And that's what happened with me when I started. It was like I only cared about that one person that needed to hear what I had to say. That one person that needed to hear a word from God. I'm definitely reminded by the Lord that this is something that I didn't choose. This is something that He chose for me, and that I have to continue. I can't get discouraged. I hope you guys can stay tuned for that journey to see what else is to come. I know for sure I want to implement more lifestyle videos rather than just the Bible studies. So let's see how that works. Maybe we'll have some vlogs, just different topics, just lifestyle. Everyone meet Melody. She just woke up. She was hungry. And yeah, God is so good, guys. God is good. God is good. Keep trusting in the Lord, because He has plans for you. He has plans for you, plans to prosper you, plans that you don't even imagine, okay? So keep pushing forward. He got you. And I want to give a special shout out to my family, my husband. He was there the whole time with me, just holding my hand through this tough process, being there with me at the hospital, no matter if he had to work the next morning, just being there and not complaining, at least not to me. Not making me feel like I was a burden to him. He was just so sweet through the whole process. My family, my sister, just helping us out, cooking for us, so that he could just focus on working and just taking care of me. I mean, it was definitely a time where I saw the love of God through my family. And I'm so appreciative of that. Surround yourself with people that will hold you down when you can't even hold yourself down. That will be there for you when you can't be there for yourself. That will pray for you when you can't pray for yourself. And of course, shout outs to God, because he held it down, baby. He held it down when we couldn't hold nothing down. When I couldn't hold nothing down, He was there. So I'm so happy. I'm so content, so thankful more than anything. So yes, guys, stay tuned for what's to come. Bye-bye.